I'm Sophia A Jackson, and I'm the editor and founder of Afridiziak Theatre News. And this morning I am joined by.
Hi, my name is Cleopatra Ray.
Thank you. So you're taking over from Gabby Brooks. How do
Yeah.
you channel your inner Rita Marley as she's an icon within herself?
How do I channel the inner Rita Marley? I'd say for me, there are some similarities in regards to like her being a mum, a working mum, an artist herself. Um, I'm a working mum. I'm a mother. Um, and yeah, I think, just a young woman who's ambitious, who's striving to do music as well, falls in love like, I mean, we all have done, and in our young age and in our life. Um, so I think there were just so many elements, just of her as a woman, that I just
Yeah.
connect with anyway. So I think it's quite a lot of those kind of things. I think that I can kind of connect with, that allow me to um channel her, you know. Obviously I can't fully completely emulate her. But yeah, there are a lot of similarities in some respects.
Yeah. And did you have any apprehension about taking on such a big role?
No, not at all, actually. I was super excited initially when I knew that they were looking at doing this show. I'd done the workshop years ago, and I
Hmm.
was Rita Marley then, and I was super ecstatic about playing her then, and excited and ready to take on the challenge to do it,
Yeah.
then. So now coming, full circle around and getting the opportunity to even just cover the part,
Hmm.
I was just really excited to be able to to step up and yeah,
And
and
what
be able to
originally
play on her.
and what originally attracted you to being part of Get Up Stand Up in the first place?
The message, the roots, the culture,
Mm.
um, being from Jamaican heritage, I think that's a big part. I think, Jamaica is very influential and is very a very proud culture.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think for me to be able to represent part of myself
Yeah.
is a big deal, a very big deal. Yeah,
I think I really appreciated the fact that a lot of the cast are actually of Jamaican heritage as well. And I think that's
yeah,
helps with its authenticity, definitely.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, and being part of Bob Marley's legacy, is also is a big deal. To be able to be part of telling his story,
mm,
um, it's huge. And I'm a fan of him. I think his stuff is still relevant today. So yeah, I think for me, being getting offered to be in the show, I mean, yeah, it's definitely a win for me.
and delving more into Bob Marley, so he's loved by millions of fans around the world. But how do you manage the pressure of honouring a global icon and staying true to his legacy? That's quite a big deal, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think you just have to be honest, when you're on stage, and making sure that you are doing the work.
Yeah,
When we're um when we're looking at the script and we're telling the story of this icon and this legend, but then we're also looking at the man, the human part of him. Um, and I think I think there's definitely a way in which you can just make sure that you're being honest when you're tackling these things, his story.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that there's that. I think that's the main part in terms of honoring, his story and his legacy, is just making sure that you're making sure that you're delivering an honest story and you're telling the story.
And you said that you're of Jamaican heritage. What are your own personal experiences of Bob Marley? For example, within your family or when you were growing up, did you listen to his music?
yes, listen to his music. His posters were on the wall. My dad was also Rasta as well. So yeah, and I mean, when you grow up in and around the culture and around other Rastas, and you kind of it, it becomes a part of you because you learn about the culture and its significance and their message and their philosophy.
Mhm.
Um, so so yeah, I think it's nice to have the opportunity to just represent such a beautiful culture, which has such depth and substance to it, you know.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, that deals in righteousness. Obviously, there's I mean aspects, where you're dealing with politics, and that's down to people. But
yeah,
when you look at the roots of it, and there are some really wonderful things that you can take from it. It's a very righteous yeah. I don't want to say religion. I'd say yeah, a philosophy.
yeah.
Teachings,
And the show closes
way of life, should I say, as well.
and the show closes on in January 2023. So what would you say to anyone who hasn't seen the show yet?
I would say you have to see it. It's a must see because you're able to take away something. You're going to be moved. You're going to be dancing.
Yeah,
It's very engaging. Um,
yeah,
it's funny as well. It's very, very funny. And you're going to see some wonderful, wonderful performances. Um, yeah, it's definitely a must see for sure, for sure.
you're right about the engaging and the interaction. I've seen it twice, and I just remember that the audience is fully involved in the
Yes,
production.
absolutely. I
Yeah,
think Bob Marley's music just has a way where it just draws you in. You cannot not dance, and just the groove and the drums and the musicality, it just grips you, it really, really grips you. And yeah, he's just saying his message is just really profound,
yeah,
and I think anybody who what goes to see it is able to take away something. You definitely will be able to take away something from it.
and I think because his songs are so well known, most of the time the audience are just singing along as well. So it's just really
Yeah,
nice.
absolutely, absolutely. They're really feel good, really, really feel good songs. And even the songs that have got like deep messages in it, it's still you're still tuned in, you're. Still listening. I think there's definitely is I think it's done in a way where, you'll still be able to be you're still captivated.
And finally, you've got a very strong musical theatre background. What is it about that genre that you're drawn to?
It's this telling of a story. I love acting through song. I love
Okay.
being able to sing. I love being able to act firstly and telling a story, and
Mm.
then the fact that you can get to sing and tell a story. I
Yeah.
think um, is a great way to be able to tell a story. Just
Hmm.
through song. It's very different to being on stage and just singing, at a concert or a gig or you know, it's a very different way to tell a story when you're singing as well. And I really like that you can kind of bring all three of the art forms, like dance as well, and to tell a story through, dancing. That conveys the message of what that scene's about or what the show's about, and it has to be conveyed in your expression and in your voice. I think that's why I really like musical theatre because it gives you the opportunity to do all three together and be able to convey a story.
And I imagine it must be quite hard to be in a bad mood if you are performing in a musical theatre production as well, because you're singing
Yeah,
and dancing and yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. And I guess it's that thing as well, like you can use that stuff, even if you are in a bad mood, you can use that stuff to channel what you're doing on stage. And usually it always changes it around. Do you know what I mean? You'll forget about what you was feeling, and then you'll be able to just to stay, yeah, connected with what it is you're presently doing in the moment or on the stage or yeah, what it is you have to showcase.
Yeah. And on that note, I wish you a lovely day. And
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to coming to see you in the show for the third time now.
Oh, God. Thank
And
you. Thank you very much.
thank you too. Take care.
Take care. Bye.